O7's just going to provide you guys with a little scouting report on Armor's O7s. You've played them several times, and so some of this is most likely review, but it's good to see this is their most recent match, so it's good to see what they were putting on the field. They're going to most likely be in a 4-4-2. They do try to possess, but they do end up playing the ball pretty direct and up the middle or up within the width of the 18. Um, when they defend, they'll kind of drop back and absorb. They're not always an organized back four or back four and holdings. So, there will be areas out wide for us to play. But we should be able to dominate in their half. But very important for us to at least pay attention, to what they're doing in their formation. So, just in their build up here, we should be able to press them, not much to it, not looking to go forward, looking to play to the outside back. So for us, our wide midfielders are going to make sure we need to jump out to these outside backs. And then obviously our wide midfielders tucking in, because you'll see in this situation, they're able to switch the point of attack. She doesn't get it to her on the ground, she flights it to her. But if she's able to play that to the ground, then that puts our right back under some undue pressure. So we want to make sure we're reading that and making sure center backs are stepping up as well. So when they transition to attack, you can see that it's going to be pretty narrow within the 18. So there's a gain of possession here, or a regain of possession here. And when they do get it, as I mentioned before, you can see the outside backs just looking to drop. Some teams, they'll step up and pressure right away and leave this player here in a 1v1. They'll leave that in a 1v1, but you can see that this outside back is dropping. She regains the ball, and then immediately, they're looking to just attack. There's not, let's keep the ball for a second. It's immediately, let's get the ball forward. And when these forwards get on the ball, they will look to possess or to combine with each other. But again, as long as our back four is organized and in good shape, we should be okay. It might even be okay for us to force them to play out wide and ask them to solve us that way. Again, you'll see the the gain of possession here. Again, everything's pretty narrow up the middle. We want you guys in the back to step up a little bit higher, not allow them to get too many passes through the middle of the field. Because you can see right there, they have open players. So we want to make sure we're tight in that situation. And then our six, Kate, or whoever's playing the six, making sure you're dropping in and screening in that situation as well. It's just a punt from their goalkeeper, from the Skyline goalkeeper. Sorry, a distribution from the Skyline player, goalkeeper, and when they win it, again, you can see everybody's pretty narrow in terms of how they're attacking. So, going to be good for us to be in a nice compact shape with our 4-4-2. Not allow them too much space. So that's obviously something we need to be aware of. That forward comes out there, and the difficulty of playing two forwards with a back four is, sometimes responsibility. We assume someone's going to take care of something, and they don't, because we just make a mistake that way. We get caught ball watching. So it's really important that even though this ball is here, that our back line is shifted over, and our six is dropped in. And quick distribution from the goalkeeper here, which is fine for us, for our goalkeepers to do as well. But again, you saw this left back kind of drop back instead of step. And for us, you can see how many players they have attacking here. Once we get the ball into this area here, there's going to be openings because look how high their line is. So their line is this high. So now, can we get our outside backs or our wide midfielder forward? Can we look to play the ball into wide areas and gates so that we're able to win the ball? But as they gain it, they transition to attack. And then, as you can see, as I've mentioned already a couple of times, straight up the middle, not much width to it, all within the width of the 18. and they have decent numbers there. So it's just going to be important for our midfield four to do their job in tracking back as well. And you can see just a missed clearance creates an opportunity straight up the middle, not much width to it. Then you can see their high line. Same thing with the opportunity when we regain possession of the ball. There's area here, area there, where the ball can be played. Right there. So again, I don't think that this group is not organized, but they will leave openings for us. So if you guys rewind that clip, that'd be fine just to see what their outside backs do. Just in their build up here, the switch, they could have switched the point of attack a little earlier, and they do. So again, once they get that ball switched, for us, it's really important that we take care of with our system, you know, like how we're defending is very important, to make sure our front two and our midfield are in good shape. Or if we're playing the 4-3-3, that our wingers are tucked in, and our midfield is condensed as well. Another, it took a long time defensively for them to win the ball back, but they did. Just once again, taking a look at their attack straight up the middle to the forwards. So these center backs just, hope they would do a better job on that. You can see the high line, able to run in behind. So again, as I mentioned, we're just trying to make sure we're all on the same page and saying, okay, we can transition on this team. They will, but we just have to be aware of certain things. So this is them pressing two forward central. You can see they're trying to force play back inside. Doesn't always work out. Again, you're going to see this forward bend her run a little bit to force her back inside. And then the ball is just played in behind. So you can see the shape that they have in their press is not, they're not pressing with 5 people, 6 people in a tight space. They're pretty spread out, so we should be able to break their lines. This is when they adjusted to 3, so now they have 3 across here pressing. And not very difficult to beat. But I would say we want to get into this area in less passes, and not necessarily with a long ball, but just breaking a line with our midfield movement. So if we're going to hit a long ball, you can see how many goalkeepers. If you're going to hit a long goal kick, you can see how spread out this Skyline team is. We want to make sure everybody's in the middle of the field, so we don't give them an easy opportunity to get back on the ball. So this is them defending a little bit lower. When they pressed, it wasn't like they pressed with a lot of numbers. So now they're defending it just in their half. So this is good for us if our center backs can establish a little bit of a rhythm. Our outside backs can get really high and wide, and then we can create some density in the middle of the field. So just to give you an idea, that you might see this, and if we do see it, just be patient. Don't feel like we have to force it in there. Just really important for us to create opportunities by passing 1 and 2 touch. And for us, we want to get this ball nice and wide into this area with our outside back, because you can see how condensed they are as a defensive shape. But even if we have to reset like this, let's just make sure that we're spread out, backs are wide, and we just establish a nice little rhythm, and that'll fit into our style 100%. And again, if that ball is a little bit wider, then they're in good shape. Okay, so restarts and corners. I'm just going to let these run a little bit. First, they're defending restarts and corners. You know, it's really just a guide to show you like this is how they're going to set up defensively. This is how they're going to set up, when they attack. So, numbers here. There's definitely an opportunity for a wide one there, but you can see that they're just jumbled in on top of the 18, and just going to try and end it. So for us, it's really important. Stop that transition and get the ball in. So our window is definitely on. Um, they might be aware of it, but at least you can see how they're setting up. Again, just this area here, maybe an overlap, and then the window might be an option for us as well. Not a bad ball if the runs are in. And then just how they set up to defend their corners. So the 08s were very similar to this, 2 on the 6, marking out here. And then we just deliver that ball in the 6, and that'll be key. You can see here if they're going to send what they're attacking, they're going to send 5, 6, and have 2 on top of the 18. Be key for us just to end it and create some attacking opportunities by having players up high as well. Just the delivery from their attackers, shot from about 25, 30 out. I want to say that this is a shot as well. So again, knowing for Amelia and Lillian, just there's potential that they could be shooting from 30 out. Another attacking corner. Look how they have so many numbers inside the 6 there. And they're just going to try and make it difficult. Obviously the coaching point here is let's not give up too many corners, and let's get a lot of corners ourselves. Just looking at the goalkeeper punts, she can create some attacking from her punts. Depends on the day, of course, but you can see this right there is just a punt that gets to about half field. But it's what they do next that certainly is concerning, because you can see that the Skyline team doesn't have enough people behind the ball, so they're just able to create something out of nothing, and that's just from a goalkeeper's punt. Offside, but that all came initially from that punt. For us, making sure we're just collective. If we know she's gonna punt the ball, let's just make sure that we have most of our players right in that pocket right there, just to not make it easy. Just show you a goal kick, and then I'll let the rest of it run. Just under half field, but because Skyline didn't have numbers back, then they're able to just create something out of it. So for us, we just need to make sure we win the ball before it gets into our defensive half. And the reason I'm keeping this going is because even though it was a goalkeeper punt, it gave them numbers in and around the 18, so made it difficult. And then there's just a free header in to score a goal. So again, some guidelines. Definitely be prepared to play regardless, as you normally are. Looking forward to watching you guys play, and let us know if you have any questions.